Yo, what up, YouTube? Is Rye. Let me holler at you real quick. I know things might not be going the way you want them to, my friend. This season might be troubling, and you might not know what to do next. But understand, you might be nursing your wounds back to health. You might be recuperating from the last dance, from the last war battle you had to go through. But the silver lining will always be, is at least you made it out alive. Some people don't have the same luxury of saying the same thing. A lot of people succumb to their enemies. They succumb to their demons. A lot of people are still battling the same battles that you got through. What you need to focus on is not what happened yesterday. It's focusing on how you're going to pivot and move from whatever happened. You was in the pit and now you're out of it. Don't reminisce about what you had to go through in the pit. That's over with. Right now, during this season, you need to be recuperating and getting ready for what's coming next. Because getting out the pit is one thing. Figuring out what you're going to do with the rest of your life. Figuring out what you're going to go into to find the thing that's going to enrich you and bring you everlasting love. That's what you need to be focused on. You made it out. Don't worry about what happened, what someone said, what someone did, the things that hurt you so much. You made it out. All that matters is that you made it out. Some people, they still in it. You one of the blessed ones. You're not lucky, you're blessed. You're one of the blessed ones that made it out. And unfortunately, like I said, the people are still in there. That could still be you. So instead of concentrating and focusing and harping on, oh man, this happened, that happened. Look at your circumstances at the moment. You're out of there. Put that behind you. Unless you're going to use it as fuel, then it doesn't need to be talked about. It doesn't need to be spoken about. You can use your time during those hard times as fuel. But right now, if that's not what you're doing, you just need to keep your head up and move forward. But at least you made it out alive. And it doesn't mean that, your feelings aren't valid on what happened to you. Your feelings are valid. But constantly harping on them and going through the same thing on what happened isn't going to get you to where you want to be. It'll actually push you back to square one where you started. And you don't want to go back. You want to move forward. So understand that at least you made it out alive. Like I said, some people, they didn't get out of there. Some people, they lost the battle. Some people, or they're still having to learn. They're going through the same trials and the same challenges, and they keep failing. Now, it's up to ourselves as individuals to figure out what we need to do to push through. But you did, and you should be congratulating yourself for doing that. Instead of, constantly sitting in negativity on this happened, that happened. You should be proud of yourself because you made it out. There are so many people who just couldn't figure it out, or they, maybe they had harder circumstances to us, because sometimes, what's hard to us is easy to somebody else. And what's easy to us is hard to somebody else. Everyone's challenges are fundamentally different. But regardless of that, you made it out. Instead of thinking about that, you need to be, okay, now what? Now what? Because a lot of times we get out of a bad season and we coast because we don't know what to do. Our whole lives was battling this negative force, these negative spirits. Our whole life was battling this thing. Now that we're out of here, it's like, what do we do now? And a lot of people coast and they don't do anything. They have this talent, they don't harness it, they don't do anything with it. Or they self-sabotage and go right back to the self-destructive patterns that got them in that situation in the first place. A lot of individuals, they get out of jail and they do good for a minute and then they go right back into crime again, because that's all they know. So they go back into crime. A lot of people, they beat the addiction, they good for a little bit and go right back into addiction again. A lot of people get out of a toxic relationship and go right back into another one. Now they in another one. The same thing they hated, they back with another person. Different face, same emotions. That don't gotta be you. It doesn't have to be you. This is an opportunity. You made it out. You made it out. This is an opportunity to do something else. Whatever you was doing that landed you there wasn't working. Even as long as you do the opposite, Even if you don't know what to do, whatever that landed you in that situation, don't do that. That's step one. You already crossed over step one. Now you're on step two. Because at least you know, okay, I don't want to be back there again. I ain't doing that. Because you made it out alive. And that's all you need to be focused on. You made it. You. And you did it alone. You did it on your own. You pushed through. You was in the zone. And you was focused. Hyper focused. And you visualized the win. So understand, my friend. You made it out alive. Whatever they did, whatever they said he wasn't even going to make it out. Now, here what you need to focus on is how you going to make it to your goals. You made it out of the pit. Now it's time to make it to your goals. Look at it this way. They told you that you was destined for failure. They told you that you wasn't going to be nothing. They told you that you was always going to be in the same spot. You already path-proofed them wrong by making it out of the pit. Now you need to fully prove them wrong by crossing the finish line and making it to your goals. But hey, it's Rye. Like, comment, subscribe. I love you, family. We growing, family. Woo woo. And you got this, homie. It's already yours.